Happy Friday, everyone. As a stay-at-home parent, I also look forward to the weekend. That's when I'm no longer outmanned and my wife is around to help out. This is hanging from the garage rafter, if that's what you can call it, is a Gailan plant that had gone to seed. And we have a lot of seeds. It's in the garage because this is where it's protected from the seed-eating birds that like to snack on it. Today we'll be looking at succession planting and some of the crops. As many of you guys know, succession planting is something that we're putting an emphasis on this year. It's a good way to grow just as you need and get very fresh harvests. So here's one of the beds where we have our succession crops growing. Real quick, we're trying for nice big onions for the first time this year, so hopefully we'll get a nice big onion. This is an heirloom variety, the yellow sweet Spanish Utah. They were grown from seed in a pot, and then we transplanted them out, so we selected the bigger ones to put here. These are our spinach, our Bloomsdale long-standing, and normally I would make a video after harvesting them. This morning I wanted to have some for breakfast, but then I thought I'll just save it for tomorrow so that you guys can see what it looks like. The weather is warming up and then it cooled back down, so we're getting 2 weeks of mid-70s, so it's nice because we can stretch out our spinach crop a little bit. So these are the spinach. This is the lebois, and one of them has already started to bolt. We have our succession Suiho Gailan, or Chinese kale, and then somehow we have a volunteer okra, it looks like. These are our succession bok choy that was planted in here, and they're started from the egg cartons like this. So these have been working really well in terms of starting the plants quickly and protecting them from bugs that might and slugs that might chew them down before they get a chance to be big enough like this. We have just to show you guys some carrots. These are red core Chantenay carrots. But to continue our story about succession planting, some more of the Gailan, and then a tangent once again are Walla Walla sweet onions. These are the big ones that we're also trying to go for. So in the other planter, we'll look at some of the other plants we're going for. So real quick, another quick tangent since we're talking about onions. This is how they were kind of started. These aren't these are scallions, but you can start onions this way, just in a pot, and then as they grow up, thin them out. This is our purple broccoli that hasn't made a crown yet, and we're gonna need this space soon, so unfortunately we're gonna have to take it down. But I like how it grows. I think it's gonna grow as a nice ornamental plant, so we'll think about growing this in the front yard as an ornamental plant. Okay, now back down here we have some more succession planted bok choy, and then here is how I like to grow if possible. This is the leafy Gailan, or Chinese kale, or Chinese broccoli, and these were sown very densely with the seeds from the seeds that we saw at the beginning of this video. So one of the things I like to do is to seed save. That way you have so many seeds that you can just scatter down and let them grow and not worry about not having any plants to harvest later on. With the egg carton, because the seed packets they can get expensive if you're going to grow a lot. So I like to be as resourceful as possible, and that sometimes means spending effort to make sure they don't get mowed down. So yeah, these are the Gailan, and they look much healthier from seeds that you save yourselves, and also if you can direct sow them, because here's an example of how they're looking compared to, say, over here where they're not as green. There's some pink on them, so these should turn out to be really nice, strong plants. We had some Suiho Gailan that we harvested, and they've all been cut down to ground level, and we're seeing if they'll grow back once again. Let me take you to another part of the garden where we have succession planted veggies. So here you may have seen them in a recent video, but some Suiho Chinese kale, and then more of the Bloomsdale spinach. So hopefully we'll get some more before it gets too hot for spinach. And over this way, we're also doing succession planting of squash, like zucchini. So zucchini is also known as summer squash. And we have this Black Beauty zucchini plant. Looking back at pictures from last year, I noticed that we're behind on zucchini. I think it was around this time this year that we had some zucchini to harvest. So a little bit behind this year. And then next to it is a succession planted Black Beauty zucchini that was transplanted yesterday. And in this space here was a cauliflower plant that was grown over winter, and we went to pull it out and noticed that there was a baby cauliflower on it. So it was pretty neat to find that. And while on the topic of succession planted zucchini and squashes and summer squashes, it was planned that we would start this one and then later on put one right next to it. Since the sun comes this way, this plant will be nice and big, and it won't be blocked out by that plant, which is still small and growing. And then it was realized that maybe putting them side by side is not a good idea. I should have put them in front of each other. I should have possibly planted the first zucchini here and then succession planted the second zucchini in the back. The reason is the way they grow, because as the plant matures, it'll grow towards the front. So if we have our succession zucchini in the back, as this grows towards the front, this back area opens, and then that back one will grow towards the open area. So something to keep in mind for next time. We have some yellow squash over there, so we could potentially use the space back there to do our succession growing of yellow squash, because this plant will grow towards the front, and then as that plant matures, it will take up this space. So later on today we'll sow some yellow squash, and we'll do that, and hopefully that works out according to plan, and we'll probably see that together. There's one more area that we have our veggies, and I'll take you out to the front of the house where we have them growing. Here we are out in the front yard where we have some edibles, including some of those chestnut red hardneck garlic. They were planted in October. And then right over there is a purple artichoke. They haven't fruited yet. If you notice on the channel page, this is where there's a picture of me standing in front of it. But we're here to look at this spinach variety that we're growing for the first time. This is the Monstro de Viroflay. It's a giant spinach. got pretty firm leaves, and I haven't tasted it yet, so I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. And finally, an update on some of our seedlings. If there are plants that you don't see here from previous videos, they've been transplanted to the garden. Black Beauty zucchini, Italian parsley, orange carnation, green globe artichoke, okra from Pakistan, bitter melon, the various holy basil plants from the USDA seed repository, succession bok choy, Egyptian spinach, and Rama tulsi. So that's going to be it for today. I hope everyone has a really nice weekend, and for all the gardeners, I hope you get in a lot of gardening. So happy gardening, and see you in the next video. We're out in the front yard, and here's a purple-licious daylily in bloom. Look how pretty it is. I like the dark colors, and I like the ruffles that are on the petal's edge. And these guys are called daylilies because they only bloom for one day. I discovered that there's another plant that we have here which is also a daylily, and it blooms for a few days. So we'll see that later on in the year.